Hello everyone, welcome back to the video series of JavaScript learning. In previous video, we have discussed what is JavaScript callbacks. As we promised, in this video we are going to discuss what is promises. So let's get started. First thing, JavaScript promise is an object representing the eventual completion or failure of an asynchronous operation. It allows you to attach callback instead of using nested callbacks. In previous code you have thinking of like if we are using multiple callbacks, then the code can get messed up. So here we have the new solution, which is promises. So it allows you to attach callback instead of using nested callback, making your code cleaner and easier to understand. There is three state of our promises. First one is pending, second one is fulfilled, and third one is rejected. So these are the three steps. What they mean: a pending state is the initial state, neither fulfilled nor rejected. Fulfilled, the operation completed successfully, and the third one is name indicates the operation failed completely. Let's try with creating an example of promise. So let's start with constant my promise. You can use any of the name, it is just for indication purpose. New promise, you will have to type it as it is to initialize the promise. It accepts two parameters. First one is resolve, second one is reject. Syntax is like arrow method. Inside that constant, just typing it to later use. Here we will again going to use set timeout. We'll keep it simple for you. This is the value. You can like 10 is too low, let's make it 2 seconds. If we get success, for example, if it is true, then it will console log. We are going to resolve it as we are into a promise. Resolve means it's completed. Operation was successful, and there could be a else case where you can reject the promise. Output reject. So we are using both the parameters. Here the promise definition done. Now we will be going to call it like this way. It is a function, so same way my promise, which is the name of the actual promise, my promise dot then. Here comes the main logic in the picture. So result, which is like if it is resolved, the output is going to appear here. If there is anything going to happen, like it is getting to reject or some other case, it is going to come inside this block where you can handle it with the error or result. These are just variables names. Here you can use any of the name of your preference. There is no limitation on using them, so just keep it more simple. Here if it succeeds, we can use a console to check what is coming into the output. Console.log. Result is the variable we are having inside this function block, so it only we can access it here. If it has any error, just try to console log the error. Simple as that. Or we can do console.error also, but let's keep it simple. Let's try running it. Operation was successful coming from here because we already defined success as true. You can do API calls here like fetching data, so we will cover that later, but let me explain this again. So first thing is creating a promise. The promise constructor takes a function with two parameters, resolve and reject. Function, the promise constructor is here. The promise constructor takes function with two parameters, resolve and reject. Inside the function you perform a synchronous operation with set timeout. Call resolve if the operation is successful, or reject if it fails. Consuming the promise, here you see how we are consuming the promise. Then to handle the successful or resolution of the promise, the catch to handle errors. So now we will try another solution like chaining promises. Second topic is chaining promises. Let me add a divider to your outputs. Here we will do another code, like for example we can chain multiple then methods to perform sequential asynchronous operations. For example, let's try create one promise, new promise, it should be capital, new promise, initializes two parameters, resolve, second one is reject, then function body. Here simple use set timeout to directly resolve without doing anything, because we will be doing mostly chaining here, so it doesn't need any complex logic. After 1 second, so you should go like 1000. That's it. Promise is done. Let's come to see how we can do the chaining of then. So here you can do like then result, yeah. So here we will console.log the result. I will later come to the practical uses. You can do them any time. This is your, there we will have to return something from here for the next use, like return processing data. It's like something coming from the API in some format, like which is JSON object or something. You can convert it to here in like readable text stream, then you can pass it to the later. There you can also do a then, which is like the message. For example, message we are getting from above is processing data here, so here make it arrow. Here you can console log your message. Why I'm using message? Because it is coming here. Then you can again use your catch block to see if there is any error in the processing, or if any step you face any kind of issue, you can counter that inside this catch block. Simple as that. Let's try running it. Try to comment it. So here we call it is says console.log result, which is data fetch. It is returning process data, which is getting to the next then block, which we are doing console log processing data, we can see here. So this way we can chain our promises. Let's try do more stuff like this. What we can cover next, it's like there is more methods like Promise.all. So how we can do this? For that we can, let's add more space here. We can type some promises. You can type notes around this one. We will be writing like more promises to see how Promise.all works. Promise 1 equals to new promise should be capital promise, then body with 2 parameters, resolve, reject, then one line how the arrow function works, set timeout. Here we can do directly resolve. Resolve something like first should be a string first, and then the timer value like 1 second. Then we will just copy this to save a bit of time. Second, third, you can rename them quickly. 1 2 3, it should be second, and that is going to be the third one. Set the timer accordingly so you can see them in serial wise. 1 2 3, 1 second, set 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Now we can do one thing, like we have a method for promises. Like when you are encountering such case, when you have multiple promises, then you can try this format. You can pass a array body to your promise, where we can use all the promises. They will execute based on the timer, you can say the priority. We pass our 3 promises, then we can try to read the result same way we did in above code. We are going to console log here console log result. One by one all the values will get prints in array because you are passing them in an array. So we did this. One more thing, again don't forget to add a catch block, because this is the only way you are going to catch your function errors. Now let's try running it. You can see first, second, third all come in a single attempt because we are using Promise.all. As soon as everything gets settled, the result will appear. If there is any error, we can see the error there. Next topic should be Promise.race, which could be like let me try to demonstrate with an example. Comment it, just copy our divided. Okay, no need, because we already commented the method. We will again use our previous code to demonstrate how the Promise.race actually works. So first one should have a value of 3 seconds, and this one should have a 1 second. So the first one, which executes faster, will appear 1 2, but time difference is there. So for example, the code could be like Promise.race. Again we will be passing an array like promise 1, comma promise to. Use same syntax like previous one. Then let me scroll a bit up here. Inside then you can read the result. Console.log. What it should be going to result. Same name should be here, and there must be a catch block to see if there is an error happen. Console.log error. Okay, now guess what should be the result based on time frame. It is going to take 1 second to resolve. It is going to take 3 seconds because we are using inside the set timeout. We are using set timeout here because sometimes a API is taking 3 seconds, a API is taking 1 second in returning the result. So that's why I am using set timeout here to show you a more real-time example. So let's try to, in my understanding, second is going to console log, not the first, because it will only show the first promise which is getting resolved first. Let's try running it. Executing. Yeah, you can see second one. First one is not appearing because it executes and it exits, not going to the second one. So this way we see like how many methods are there. There is more methods like all settled, Promise.all settled. So I keep it for you, otherwise I will cover them into next video if possible. So in this video we'll learn the following points today. First one is what is a promise in its states. Second one, how to create and use a promise. Third one, how to change promises for sequential operations. Fourth, how to use Promise.all for parallel operations. Fifth is like how to use Promise.race to get the result of the first resolved or rejected promise. So feel free to ask questions and queries in comment box. Do make your notes and practice. See you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.